Yo, what's going on, guys? Carnage back here again, and today I'm back with another Marvel Legends review. That review being of the Marvel Legends Strange Tale Waves Bloodstorm. And also kind of interesting fact about this, I did not know this was a Storm variant. Mostly because I didn't fully care for this wave, and I just never, deeply paid attention to most of them other than, the Moon Knight, Dracula, or, Helverine. Those were the main ones that I was really looking for. So didn't really, pay too much attention to the rest of the wave. But, still a pretty decent figure. Pretty good box art on the side, as you can see. Really love that picture. That is very cool. Yeah, and she came with the torso, I believe. Yeah, she came with the torso. So, yeah, pretty cool. Not much else. The Strange Tale Waves on the top, not much on the bottom, other than, the price, which I did not pay that, mostly because, I work at the comic shop that I got this from, so I have credit built up, so I was able to get this. I was able to get her, Lilith, and Voodoo, who I reviewed a couple weeks ago. So I will be doing the Lilith review and then, getting to the Blackheart. I just need to try to find his alternate hand, just because I don't remember where I put that. And then, I'll be able to, get that. And something I did forget for the Brother Voodoo wave, he did come with two of these, like, mystical purple effects, so I do apologize for not having those in the video. But yeah, without any further ado, let's just get right into the review. She came with the body to Blackheart, as I mentioned, but other than that, she came with an alternate head of kind of more like a more neutral stern face, which pretty nice. I also do like the detailing on the hair with like the white and then a black wash all the way through it. That is pretty cool. The earring, very good detail. Not really focusing, but I do like the earring. That is still pretty cool, both sides. And I originally didn't even notice that she had fangs, but like I said, I wasn't super into this figure. This was just kind of like a, get for the Build-A-Figure piece. But pretty good fangs, really do like it. Other than that, she did come with two alternate hands. I like to think of these as like, I'm gonna touch you. Like, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. That's what I like to think of these hands are as. Yep, and she did come with two open hands, like she's gonna grab something. These are more like for her powers, I'm assuming. And then going on to the figure herself, she's pretty decent. Granted, not the hugest X-Men reader. Like most of my X-Men knowledge is just, more current slash, when they first came out. But pretty decent figure. The belt, very cool looking. Do like the X-Men belt on her. Now, it doesn't like staying down, which, I mean, I don't know if that's supposed to be the way it's supposed to or not. Because I'm not so sure if mine's like a little warped or something and it's supposed to like hang off to the side, which, I mean, would make a little more sense because, that's kind of how belts usually go. And it's fitting perfectly like that. I thought the X was supposed to be in the middle, so that's my mistake. But anyway, going on to the detailing, like I said, come on, there we go. Yeah, really good face detailing, like the black around the eyes, the open mouth. Earrings, again, look good. The hair, again, pretty decent. Really do like that. And then the leather jacket actually looks like it's made out of leather, which I knew, was something they do, but it still just surprises me every single time I see it. I think these arms might be reused from, like, Jessica Jones. Like, that's the closest I can really think of. And she does only have, single jointed elbow, but, it's a little more difficult to do multiple points of articulation with one arm. And then going on to her little chest plate, Very good detailing all across that, with all the little straps, and then, you know, the little string in the middle that holds it together. I know I'm, you know, getting a little too in depth with that, but, you know, just very good detailing that I noticed when I was, you know, at least, you know, doing my initial take of the figure. Yep, really good on the pins. It is a little goofed up there, but I mean, you know, with how small these are, and, you know, it's not really noticeable. Pretty cool, though. I especially do like the, you know, fact that they do have the zipper right there, and it looks like it does have a, you know, little handle to, you know, zip the zipper on both sides. That was pretty cool. Pants, not much else to say about that. And also something that was very surprising about this, she has a waist swivel, which I never see on a female figure. I don't think I've actually seen a female figure with a waist swivel before. That wasn't... Yeah, I don't think I've ever really seen one now that I think about it. Which, I mean, that's pretty cool. I've never... Like, that's still pretty cool. And, you know, like, if you don't want this head on it, you could definitely swap it with, you know, another character. Just say have, like, you know, what's the word I'm thinking of? Just like a street level character. Or, you know, another civilian. Yeah. And then jeans look pretty jean. They do stuff. And I do like the detailing on the boots. Pretty good. And I don't know what these, like, little speckles are that, you know, just kind of show up a little clear, like that one right next to my thumb. Not so sure if that's just kind of where the plastic just kind of, you know, got removed or whatnot. Pretty good shoes as well. Not really much to say with that. Going on to articulation-wise, she does look up very well, I will admit. Looks down even further, which is also pretty cool. She has that wide of a range. Like I mentioned, single jointed elbow. Arm does full 360. She does have a wrist swivel, which, you know, pretty standard for any Marvel Legend. She does have, you know, upper torso movement. She does have a waist swivel, which, like I said, never really seen that on a Marvel Legend before. That's a female. She kicks out that far. Doesn't really kick back too much. Upper thigh cut. Double, and I repeat, a double jointed knees. If it... Yeah, I should have probably heated this up before I started doing this. But, you know, double jointed knees. She does have no swivel at the boot, which kind of surprising because it kind of looks like it should. But then, you know, also ankle pivot. And, you know, pretty standard, you know, basic figure like I mentioned. Don't really have a ton of Storms in my collection. This actually makes it the second one. Like, I only grabbed one of them because, you know, you can't really have an X-Men team without Storm. And, I mean, she is now part of the Avengers. If you guys have been reading Jed MacKay's run on Avengers. And this is the retro card White Storm, which was the only Storm I've ever owned. Yeah, and they look pretty good. And something I was kind of curious about was popping the head off and then seeing if it would fit on this body, which it doesn't really want to go down, so it's kind of stuck like that. And I mean, the skin tones don't really match that well either, so that kind of sucks. I mean, it works better on this one, but the head does sit kind of a little loose, and it does kind of, you know, cover up the neck quite a bit. So if you wanted, like, you know, a Vampire Storm looking like this, you could do it, but it is very loose, like I mentioned. So that kind of sucks that you can't really do head swaps. Yeah. And this is still the best Storm, in my opinion. I've seen a handful of them, but this one, still my favorite. And, you know, since, you know, she's, you know, an X-Men, why not, you know, place her next to a couple X-Men characters. Sorry about that, I got a phone call. But yeah, have a couple of X-Men characters that, you know, she'd look good next to. Here she is next to the Astonishing Wolverine. Mine does kind of have some wacky ass claws, like as you can see, like very, very loose, just in there. They don't really want to stay there, and that's just something that it's been like since I've had it. This side's pretty good, but this side, like, it's just the one claw mostly that just does not like it wiggles. Anyway, getting a little sidetracked, but here she is next to the Astonishing Wolverine. I know a lot of people really enjoy this one. I truthfully still prefer, you know, the Juggernaut Wave Wolverine the most. That one's still just my favorite personally. Here she is next to the Rogue from the Pyro 2-pack, and I like to think of this as, you know, Avengers version of Rogue, just because she wore an outfit basically like this when she was part of the Uncanny Avengers. Here she is next to the Astonishing Cyclops, one of my favorite Cyclops in my collection. This one and the 97 one are actually my two favorite Cyclops that I have in my collection. Love both of them. And then for the final X-Men character, here she is next to Forge, and I believe they had like a thing going on for a bit. I don't quite remember. I might be mistaken. But basically, there was also a storyline where Forge, you know, helped her get her powers back, and if you watched, you know, X-Men 97, you would have seen that. And then for the final review, or not final review, final comparison, because, you know, she's a vampire, so why not review her next to the Lord of the Vampires, Dracula. And, you know, like, I would review this Dracula, but, you know, not too exciting. Arms, definitely more to be desired, and, you know, double jointed knees and everything like that. Came with a cool ass sword though, and an alternate head, and, you know, yeah, like, he's pretty cool. Not something I'm gonna review personally, so, but yeah, I will be reviewing the Lilith figure just because, you know, she's the last one I kind of do have to review, and then, you know, I'll review the Blackheart Build-A-Figure. So, yeah. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy the review. Yeah, like I mentioned, not a terrible figure, pretty basic, and, you know, if you have a head that can fit on this that's, you know, remotely close to the skin tone, then you just have, you know, just a, you know, normal civilian, which is pretty cool. And yeah, pretty decent figure. Don't really have a place for her on my X-Men shelf, so she's going into what I'm going to call the multiverse shelf, which is just going to be like the extras of characters I already, you know, have like the definitive version on that shelf. So yeah, anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. You know, and if, you know, there's anything else you guys would like me to do, just leave a comment down below. Like the video, and, you know, yeah, kind of rambled on for a second, but, you know, I'm not great at this whole YouTube thing, as you guys can, you know, probably assume. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will catch you in the next video. Love you all. Peace.